And this is my review of my trusty and much appreciated new Dominix V3 Ultrasaber. Take a moment to admire the clean lines and the simple elegance from here. Okay, that's pretty much it. As I said, the Dominix V3, I chose the Adigan silver blade, and you can see not very well from there. This came with a plentiful supply of color discs, which have been letting me play around with different color variations to great effect. I have seen that compared to other Ultrasabers I've seen in person, the colors from the discs are not as vibrant as the pre-installed colors. Nonetheless, they do provide for some really fun variations and shadings and a lot of customization. So there's a little bit of a trade-off, and I'm quite happy with the way this worked out, especially being able to combine different discs to generate some very interesting shades that are not normally available. So this was a very pleasant thing to come across. I hadn't realized these came with this particular saber. Very, very pleased with that. The Dominix, as you can see and has probably been mentioned, has two choke points in here and then in here. And for those of us who have somewhat shorter fingers or smaller hands, this makes for very, very convenient gripping options. If you're using it one-handed, it allows you some variation based on where your grip feels comfortable. Two-handed makes for a very, very comfortable grip. All the way down towards the pommel, gives you some play with your fingers, and this makes a very nice, comfortable spot to wrap your control fingers around in here, which works very well for transitioning between one hand and two hands. Let's light this up for a little while. This has been one of the other really remarkable things, is that despite the fact that I'm filming this in daylight in my backyard, the blade is still noticeably brighter when it's turned on. If I take long enough here, then it will become even more and more prominent as the sun begins to set. It's still rather bright and clear, even in interior room lighting. So this is a very, very nice color. It's subtle in the light, but it still comes through very nicely. For contrast, I did make a modification when I first picked it up, and that is, you may see that my set screw has been replaced with a paddle screw or a thumb screw. I have a blade plug for this as well, and believe it or not, I use this as a flashlight as well when I'm not out working with things saber-wise. And having the little paddle screw here makes blade removal and reinsertion much, much simpler than carrying around the little hex wrench all the time. That being said, having the regular set screw in this place keeps the lines on this very smooth and very clean. Overall, I really like the aesthetics of this particular saber hilt. Outside the choke points, it has some nice heft. It's not uncomfortable. The choke points add there's just something about the flow of the lines of this that I find very, very appealing. I'm sure I'm doing this in the proper place for everyone to see. So if we do a quick disassembly here, it comes apart quickly, easily. This is not an MHS emitter, but that's neither here nor there with the blade plug in. It serves very well in my secondary use for it as a flashlight. Blade turned back, blade replaced. I do have the MHS pommel, so I can replace this, and I've played around a little bit with now you can see that. I played around a little bit with some aftermarket pommel ideas for belt clips. But since I'm not talking about aftermarket parts, I'm talking about this piece of equipment. We'll skip that for the time being. I did find that with the gloves that I use when I am practicing with the blade that I didn't have very good grip on the smooth aluminum. So following the lead of someone else in the forum, I went out and picked up a bunch of O-rings. Let's see if I can bring this in. You can see it here on the angle. These are O-rings with a slightly smaller diameter than the outer diameter of the haft, and they fit very nicely in the pre-cut grooves, and this is night and day. Adding these on means that I can wear any of the smooth palm gloves that I might use for protection when I'm sparring, or just for a little extra hand protection to help keep down the blisters, and I have excellent grip control on this without really changing any of the dynamics of the rest of the use of the weapon. So that was an addition to have. Without wearing gloves, there would be no real need for these. Skin gives plenty of traction on this, and just holding it, moving it, swinging it around, not an issue without the O-rings. But for the gloves I use, they were pretty much a requirement. Otherwise, I was going to be dropping it every time I had a significant contact with anything. I did pick this up as a stunt saber. It has no sound, just the light, and that's because my primary use for this is in actual practice, and I didn't want to get some expensive electronics on board that might be damaged by a lot of heavy physical contact that it does see getting used. That being said, let's take a close look at this blade. This is a heavy grade ultra edge blade, and I'm having a really hard time finding any, here we go. I'm not even sure this is going to show up on the camera. There's some slight scuff marks right in front of my thumb here. Little discolorations that are very, very faint. You have to look hard to see them. Turn the blade on. Does that help highlight them? Probably not. And this is after some really significant heavy-duty, hard-hitting freestyle work. The blade has held up beautifully, no complaints. The mounting inside the emitter point is solid. Okay, again, the set, whether I use the set screw or the thumb screw that I put in here, this is a solid connection. No problems with the blade coming out or being loose. And the rest of the blade, as I have said, has been extremely durable throughout all of the work that I put this through. So, Saber community and good folks at Ultrasaber, this is a really fine piece of work here. Solid, durable, very clean, very aesthetic, very pleasing to the eye. I have no complaints. I have nothing but positive things to say about this. My comment about not getting good grip is entirely because of my choice of hand protection. It has nothing to do with the saber itself, and I was able to resolve that issue for myself without causing any real disruption in the aesthetics of the weapon. So for one of the lower cost weapons, I think this is a really spectacular purchase, both in terms of price and quality. Thanks very much, and remember, play hard, fight safe.